Hey everyone, Allison Mazrak from OT Time. Talking to you today about positioning. We touched briefly on this to discuss the start of online learning, and you're probably finding out that your young ones, we're talking about kids about 10 and younger, don't have too much patience for time in front of the computer. And that's okay, that is totally normal. I just want to offer some tips in case your child has to be in front of a computer and how to position them correctly. So, for our youngest learners, if you can find a chair that fits them, I'm going to show you a picture here of a little girl who is appropriately seated in a chair that's just right for her. Her feet are flat on the floor, and the bottom of her seat is filled out with her bottom at the back of the chair. So that's an ideal position. Sometimes we don't all have access to these small chairs, and I'll talk with you in a moment about what else you can do. And then I'm going to show you this picture here. This is this little girl who's trying to get ready for her online learning, but she's seated in an adult-sized chair. So her feet are not at the floor. She does not really feel grounded or secure, and she's probably going to wiggle a whole lot more in a chair like this versus one that's fitted to her. So just keeping that in mind might help keep your child seated and able to be focused a bit longer in a chair that's just right for them. And then the other thing you can do if you don't have chairs that size for them is sitting them, whether it's against a wall or a piece of furniture, at their back. And then they can sit cross-legged or maybe legs out straight in front of them. And maybe a box, if you can get a box for the laptop or whatever screen, iPad, tablet that has to sit on top if they have to be viewing something. And then one alternative position to even that, needing no equipment at all, is getting them on their bellies. So this is sometimes good if they do get sick of sitting in the chair and they just need a change of pace, especially for our kids. I would say 10 and younger, but also more particularly 6 and under, getting them on their bellies so they're having to push through their forearms and get themselves a little bit more upright to look in front of that screen. And I certainly approve of changing between belly time and sitting in a chair for our kids to just kind of switch it up, and that might also hold their attention a little bit longer too. We'll talk in our next video about some movement breaks, but those are just a couple ways to keep our youngest learners more engaged. For middle schoolers and high schoolers, so the more adult-sized chairs are going to be fine for them if they have to sit and do typing. We want to think about that 90-90-90 position I mentioned in a previous video. So feet needing to be flat on the floor, ankles at 90, knees are at 90 degrees, and hips are at 90 degrees. Hopefully the back can reach the back of the chair and we can sit upright. You'll just find naturally occurs, and you probably know this as well if you are a typer, a parent who works at a computer, you tend to hunch over. So trying to remind yourself every so often is great to squeeze those shoulder blades together in the back to kind of decrease some neck and upper back pain. So those are my best tips right now, and also interspersing that time in front of a computer with movement breaks. Getting your kids out maybe even at the start of the day, or sprinkling those movement breaks throughout the day if you can hopefully get them back where they need to be doing the work that they need to be doing. This is a very tough time. Parents, you're working, you're trying to teach your kids. There's nothing easy about this, and I don't want you to think that the tips I provide are just easy things to do and check them off the list. I'm here to support you. Please post questions below or on my YouTube channel, on my page. I would love to problem solve with you and find some ways to make your life easier and your kids enjoy learning at home. Thank you so much.